So from the concept of salvation which we have discussed, it is crystal clear that if a person merely states that I am a Muslim, I have been born to Muslim parents, or I am a believer, that is not an automatic passport or visa to enter heaven. For that you have to do lots of good deeds and refrain from committing sins on the basis of faith. Islam clearly teaches that unless your actions are reflected on the basis of faith, you can never attain salvation. It is very easy for everyone to say, I love my dad and mom. But when your parents are sick and if you do not look after them, if you do not spend money for them, if you do not take care of them, if you do not show kindness towards them, can you sincerely say that you love your dad and mom? It is easy for everyone to say that I love Allah. But if that love is not reflected in our actions, can we sincerely call ourselves a true believer? But unfortunately, that is why the Quran stresses so much importance on deeds. Quran teaches us that if we eat our fill when our neighbor remains hungry, if we be in the comfort of a shelter, we rest in our mansions without yielding a shelter to the homeless wanderer, if we deprive the poor of the rightful share in our wealth, if we ignore the tears of widows and refuse and eat a morsel when the fatherless has not eaten his, if the wailing of a hungry child does not touch our hearts, if the agony of a mother seeing her only son nearing death for want of money to treat her does not disturb our sleep, can we sincerely call ourselves true believers? But unfortunately, many Muslims who claim that they are God, that they're believing in God, they're not true to their faith. Once a street boy, he was staring at an expensive car. And when the car owner came, he asked, how much you paid for the car? The car owner said, my brother presented this car on my birthday. The street boy was surprised. The boy said, I wish. The car owner thought, what the boy intended to say is that if he had a brother like that, he also would have got a car like this. But the following words uttered by the boy really surprised the car owner. The boy said, I wish I could be like the brother who presented the car to you. The car owner asked the boy to get inside the car and gave him a ride. After some time, the boy requested, can you take me near my hut? This request created an impression in the mind of the car owner that the boy wants to show other boys that he is traveling in an expensive car. But when the car neared a hut, the boy requested to stop. He got out and went inside a hut, and when he came out, he was carrying his little crippled brother. Pointing to the car and the car owner, the boy said, he did not pay anything for the car. His brother presented the car on his birthday. I will work hard, make a lot of money, and I will present the car to you. And I will make you sit inside that. And I will take you to all places which your little eyes wants to see, your little heart wants to reach, but your crippled little legs cannot take you. That is my dream and hope. Think about that little street boy who was born in poverty, lived in poverty, but wants to sacrifice everything for his crippled little brother. In fact, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wanted that spirit from a believer, that is why the Prophet said, you will not be a believer unless and until you desire for others what you desire for yourself. You detest for others what you detest for others. The Islam also clearly says that you have to show gratitude and love towards your parents, but unfortunately the thoughts about making money has eclipsed everything, so younger generations do not show love and respect, compassion and mercy towards their parents. You must have heard one incident. If an aged father and a 22-year-old son were sitting on the bench in a park. Due to old age, the father has started losing his memory. And when he saw a sparrow, he asked, "What is that?" The son replied, "It is a sparrow." After some time, the dad asked, "What is that?" The son got irritated. He replied, "It is a sparrow." After some time, the sparrow flew from that place and sat at another place. The old dad stared at the sparrow for some time and asked, "What is that?" The son got really wild. He shouted, "How many times I have to tell you that it's a sparrow, it's a sparrow, it's a sparrow?" The old dad stared at his son for some time. He recollected something. He slowly got up and slowly walked to his house that was nearby. And when he was coming back, he was carrying an old diary. He took a particular page and told his son, "When you were 2 years old, we were sitting on this same bench in the same park, and I have written about an incident that happened on that day. Kindly read it aloud." The son started to read. "I was sitting with my 2-year-old son on bench in a park. A sparrow came. My son asked me, 'What is that?' I replied, 'It is a sparrow.' My son asked again, 'What is that?' I replied, 'It is a sparrow.' 22 times my son asked me, 'What is that?' And 22 times I replied, 'It is a sparrow.' I never got angry. I never raised my voice. I never lost my temper. I never got irritated. Each time when he asked that question, I, appreciating his innocence, I embraced him and kissed him." Reading this, the son embraced his dad and apologized. This is the manner in which the younger generations behave towards their aged parents. Visualizing this 1400 years back, Almighty Allah said in the Quran, "When your aged parents depend on you, never utter a word of contempt. Lower your wings of mercy and pray to Allah to shower mercy upon them." And Islam gives clear directions in the entire gamut of human life. Islam clearly stipulates that parents should allow their children, lead them through the right path, and never suppress their love and affection towards their children. One certain villagers approached the Prophet ﷺ and asked, "Do you kiss your children?" The Prophet replied, "Yes, I do." Then the villagers said, "God promised we do not do that." The Prophet said, "If Allah has removed mercy from your hearts, what can I say?" Teaching of Prophet is very relevant even today, and it is relevant for all times. Once a person gave an expensive gift to the head of a company and requested him to present it to someone whom he loves most. That night, the head of the company came home and met his 9-year-old son. He told his son, "A person presented this gift to present to the person whom I love most. I'm a busy man. I do not have much time to spend with you. Even the time I spend with you, I used to scold you. But you should understand one thing. You are the person whom I love most." The 9-year-old son stared at his dad for some time. Tears started rolling from his eyes. In the midst of weeping, he said, "Dad, I thought you do not love me. I thought nobody in this world loves me. I was thinking of committing suicide. I will never do that." A simple advice of our dear Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that has got relevance for all times. That is why I said,